Hello, friends. My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain. And we're your fuck buddies. And we are here. I was just talking because you were drinking.
Yeah, I know. I was like, why did I take a drink? I know how fast this thing works.
The worst time to do it.
We're a sex and dating advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
Simply put, we find questions either online or from our wonderful listeners that get sent in, and we answer them right here, right now, every Monday in your ears. Where else and when else, Dane?
We are doing a live show, our return to the stage.
Our
first
2025 debut.
Yes. Back at Black Sheep in Liberty Village, Toronto. February 20th at 7 p.m. We are doing a cozy, comfy PJ. We know you don't want to leave the house, but come out and do something fun and not that expensive. That's
the thing. It's like winter sucks, but staying in gets old. So it's like we want to give you the best of both worlds. You come out, but you're going to feel like you stayed in because one, it's going to be cheap. $10 tickets. Find me a better deal in the city. You're not going to be able to. VIP. It's a $15 ticket, which means it gets you a free drink, and that's like a $5 for a drink. Find me a better deal in the city. You won't be able to. We're going to be there. That's $5 per boy and a $5 drink.
A better deal. We will burn that establishment to the ground.
Yeah, we're going to end them.
We will raise the city until we are the only thing standing, a monolith of cheap entertainment.
Which is the name of our company. You show up, you're going to be comfy, you're going to be cozy, so it's going to kind of feel like you're at home, but instead of being in your living room by yourself, barren and sad, with your skin too dry and the TV grayscale, you're going to be sitting in a room full of warmth, full of friends, drinks, food, other people in their comfies, watching us do funny things on stage.
And we've got games, we've got visual elements now, we've got prizes that will help you transition from comfy outside time to making your comfy inside time more enjoyable as well.
Yeah, we're going to give you gifts that will mean you won't have to leave your home until the next time we have a live show.
Yeah, because you know when you're sitting at home and you're really comfy and you're really cozy and outside is it's fucking snowing. You can the ground is white because it's so fucking cold. And you're like, you know what would be really good right now? Some gummy candies, a chocolate, and a Coca-Cola.
But you don't want to leave the house.
And you're I'm not fucking going up to get it. I wish I had those things.
What happens to me is I want them the second the shops close. You know,
so we're giving you sort of
like
a cozy emergency kit.
Yeah.
So that when you're in that moment, you're like, wait, we have that thing from Niall and Dane.
Exactly.
Let's go.
So be there. You'll find the links anywhere. It's February 20th, 7 o'clock, Black Sheep Cocktail Lounge, Liberty Village. It's going to be a lot of fun. But don't worry, we're going to get right into the questions right now because this week we're talking about how to practice safe sex with OnlyFans girl.
Ways to Pavlov your wife.
I record every conversation to get better at social skills, and now I look like a creep.
Your army of plushies.
I feel like we've done that one. But again,
I think I'm almost positive we did, but I've been watching Severance. I'd seen it prior, and then I rewatched it to catch my partner up.
And now all of a sudden it makes sense while you go into your podcast fugue state.
I literally feel like walking into this closet, I get severed because last night, my partner, I don't remember. She was like, I can't believe you didn't bring up Shania Twain in that question. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Those are words, I guess.
I was like, and she does it a lot. Anytime she's listening, she usually does it when she's cleaning or working out or whatever. And she'll pull out her headphones and be like, blah, 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 blah. She'll say something. I'm like, darling, I love you. But what I say on the podcast and in the closet is not me. That is my innie. And you're talking to the outie right now. So please don't hold me accountable.
All right. This is by Ready to Work 22. How to practice safe sex with OnlyFans girl? I'm planning to go on a date with a girl I met on Hinge who turned out to be an OnlyFans girl. I subscribed to her profile and got her number. Tomorrow we are going out on a date. Assuming we come back to mine and have sex, I'm planning on only doing the following. 1, massage. 2, making out. 3, fingering. 4, boob sucking. 5, she can give me a hand job. Do you guys think this is safe? Since she's an OnlyFans girl, I don't know how many dudes she slept with, nor do I have any idea if what of if she gets regularly tested for STDs.
So I'm very confused. Like, is she a porn actress? Like, is she doing like sex? Is she having sex with people on her OnlyFans? Or like, because I know almost everyone I know that does OnlyFans is solo. Like they just
I'm assuming it's solo.
Yes. But I'm also like, I don't know, because a lot of people think that like, oh, just because you are taking like sexy photos or you're a sex worker in terms of, you know, what you do for money, you've got to be riddled with disease.
Which is, I think, this guy's one of his many problems based on this question.
So there's a lot of things that come into, like, if someone is doing sex work and they're doing it responsibly and professionally, they're probably getting tested more than you ever have in your life. Like in the course of a month, they are probably getting tested more than you have ever done. Mm-hmm. If they're not, then perhaps they have a recurring partner that they only make content with one person, and they know that, like, you know, they might get tested on a regular basis, but like they know we're the only people that work together. We're the only people that we're having sex with. And, you know, the safety is there. It's like being in a monogamous relationship. This is also something you can talk to with your sexual partners.
Yeah, it's almost like there's no real change in the fact that she's an OnlyFans model. It doesn't mean like, look, I know you guys talk about communication and I should, you know, talk about these things with my upcoming partners. But she is an OnlyFans girl, so she can't hear words or sign language or text or I just cannot find it. Like, just talk to them like you would with anybody else. The only thing this is showcasing is your ignorance and like weird hangups.
And like, there's also the other thing of being like, is this a date or are you paying for the time? Right? Like,
it seems like it's a date.
Yeah. Okay. Then if you're on a date, then you can absolutely have a conversation with someone before you sleep with them. And if you're
paying for it, you could definitely do that. Like,
that's what I mean. It's like, if it's a transaction, then like, you don't even have to worry about like being socially awkward about it. It's your money. Like, you should absolutely have a conversation with any sex worker that you might be procuring the services for, to be like, hey, what are the rules? What are your safety procedures? Like,
in fact, if you're not having this, they'll probably be asking you if you've been tested.
Yeah.
I think this all stems from you have a weird, like, very shitty view of women and sex workers and OnlyFans models, and you need to fix that. 1, 2. Have you ever gone out on a date with someone and been like, hold on, let me write down the 5 things that I'm okay with when I get home, which are massage, making out, and like, I'll let her give me a hand job. What are you doing? And sucking boobs. I'm going to be sucking boobs. Number 4.
Yeah, I could suck your titties. But like, there seems to be like, why wouldn't you get a blowjob? If you're okay with making out, your lips have touched, right? So if you're concerned about presumably like a herpes transference of it, you've already made out with her. You're like if you're gonna catch something from her lips, you're gonna get something from her lips. Just because it's not your dick, the rest of your body.
It's much better if it's not your dick,
for sure. 100%.
Let's be fair, but yes, you're right. It's like you're not even being rational about your own bullshit. You're just being a dick,
and like you're also ignoring the concept of like condoms as well. Like, if you're concerned, and you should be concerned about your sexual health for you and your partner. If this is a concern, I mean, I'm going to walk it even further back. Because this was a big thing in college of people being like, oh, I got to double bag it because she's dirty or what, you know what I mean? Like that kind of like sentiment of being like, I'm super nervous that I'm hooking up with this person because I think she's riddled with disease. It's like, if you think someone is that lax with their sexual health, why do you want, like, I don't understand, like, the idea of looking at or assuming someone is so gross, quote unquote, because they don't take care of themselves. Because it's not even
like you're not gross if you get one, but in these scenarios you're like gross because you're getting so many and you won't do
almost
anything
like
about it
them
in this like fiction.
Yeah.
So it's like if you truly believe that about someone, you wouldn't want to hook up with them.
Yeah.
So
it's the same way as like if someone's like, oh, that person's really stinky. And so, like, the only way you have to hook up with them is if you, like, plug your nose. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
this guy needs to get his shit together. 1, your views on women suck.
Yeah.
They really do. 2, your views on sex workers suck. 3, you're kind of an idiot. Because again, nothing changes in this scenario. At no point do you say, hey, should I talk to her? Should I communicate? Should I make sure I bring a condom? Should I, get myself tested? Should we trade tests? Like, et cetera, et cetera. You're just saying, damn, I think she's a wanton slattern wench.
Because of her job, I can only assume that she has no ability to take care of herself, despite the fact that if she is shooting with people, the porn community is very intense about you need to get sort of tested in order to continue to shoot, especially if you're doing it with a professional company.
Yeah, she's also if that's the case, she has more impetus to be tested than any other person you're going to find. Because it's not only a safety measure, it's now like a professional measure, like a reputation measure, like kindness for the other people, like her coworkers, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like this woman is in that case more likely to have been tested.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's very, very your position on this is dumb pretty much across the board. There's nowhere I can connect with this. I always try to when we get a question, I try to empathize, right? I try to get in the other person's head and be like, okay, I get where you're coming from because of X, Y, and Z. But here it's just you're a shitty dude who has horrible views.
Yeah.
And that's why you are. So it's I can't even be I understand you're nervous. I understand blah, blah. But it's you're skipping the biggest step of being a responsible sexual partner, of just being hey, I'm concerned about sexual health. Should we get tested? When was the last time you get tested? What's your testing schedule, regimen, whatever?
Yeah. Which also,
and if you're not,
you should be able to do without being judgmental and shitty.
Yeah. I've had there's been plenty of times where I've met, especially online dating, where women have specifically requested me I don't really because I'm usually up front and be I'm sleeping with other people, I'm seeing other people, and people are cool, I'm all right with that. However, I would like to see, a test before we have sex. And usually if I'm interested enough in this person, I will go and get it. If it's if we're just kind of casually talking and haven't met up yet, I'll probably wait until we go on a date. But if we've gone on a date and it's yes, I would like to sleep with you, I'm going to go get tested.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
It's great peace of mind.
Yeah, it's nice to know, right?
Yeah, it's always nice when you go to the dentist wherever and they're you got no cavities. Fuck yeah, great. Yeah, okay, cool. Because also if you go and they're oh hey,
ton of sugar, I'm
you
pretty
have
confident.
A thing, then you can get it dealt with,
Yeah.
Or at least take steps to not continue to spread it.
Yeah,
there's literally no harm to getting tested.
Exactly.
So that's it.
Also, it's a good litmus test because if they're weird about you asking, you probably don't want to sleep with them anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Although in this case, I feel you're going to be the one who's weird, and they're not going to want to sleep with you. So.
Yeah, I mean that's the case. I think this poor lady should run for the fucking hills.
Yes,
it's pretty wild that where did he meet her? Just he saw her on social media, found her OnlyFans, and then got her number.
No, I think he was saying he met her on online dating or something. I just closed the tab. I think they met, then he found out she was OnlyFans.
Right.
So
okay.
Definitely not.
It sounded like he subscribed to her OnlyFans and then got
he
her
did say
number.
he did that
Yeah.
after. Yeah.
Because girl, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But, chase your bliss, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This comes from Kenny the Princess. Ways to Pavlov wife.
Okay.
I'm excited to give you the twist here. So I've seen multiple posts about how wives either intentionally or unintentionally Pavlov their husbands. My wife has actually done a similar thing with coconut oil, where she would use it always for handjob blowjobs, and it resulted in the smell of coconut driving me crazy. Off the top of my head, some of the things I remember reading were red lipstick for blowjobs, putting on a certain perfume before sex, using certain scented/flavored lube, wearing certain lingerie/clothing before sex. I had this discussion with my wife, and we both thought it would be hot if we could find something similar for her. It got me thinking that I've only ever read about it from a woman's point of view, and I was struggling to come up with ways I could do the same with my wife. Any ideas?
Clip your nails before you go to Finger Town.
The funny thing is you could do all the things that's listed. I mean, I guess other than sort of like lingerie, unless you're into that. But you could have a pair of like silk, boxers or something.
Sexy boxers, yeah.
Right? Or like a very specific belt that jingle jangles in a certain way when you take it off,
Yeah.
I have a very loud belt. Like one of my belts it's very like clinky when you like undo it. So I was like, if you want to be literally Pavlov and have like an audio element to it,
get a belt with a bell on it. Put the bell in belt.
Exactly.
Like, is this even a good thing? It feels weird to me that you would have such specific situations that you'd be able to be Pavloved. It makes me feel like you're not doing the things enough.
What do you mean?
Like, if it's like, oh, I smoke coconut, like I'm getting horny. It's like, that to me feels like you have like a hand job like so rarely that like coconut is like, oh shit, is it happening? As opposed to like, if you got a hand job every day, I don't think you'd be like, woo, like, you know what I mean? I feel like there has to be a certain
Pavlov.
What?
He didn't ring the bell once a day or once a year.
No, I know, but it's just that you associate it with something.
Yeah.
That's
through
the thing. There's
repetition.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it has to be regular. In this case, like, I think there needs to be a lack of for it to be that exciting for someone. Because to me, it seems like there's a desperation to like the, I don't know. It just seems weird to me. Also, like, imagine if you had blowjobs regularly every day. It's like, hold on, fuck, like red lipstick. Like, I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like it just seems bad.
I can't speak for the psychological, because it's like people who like ruin their fucking lives with ASMR, right? Like, I think there probably could be a long-term detrimental effect. I don't know the history of like how Pavlov played out in terms of the end result of being like, oh, this dog literally couldn't get hungry unless he heard the bell and starved to death, after years of it. But I think there is something fun to like, if you want to have sort of like a fun teasy signal when you're about to go, when you go for dinner, you put on your clinky belt, or she puts on her red lipstick.
I hate the clinky belt. Stop talking about the clinky belt. It couldn't be less sexy.
No, think about taking off your belt.
I know exactly, but it's still. All I'm thinking of like, is this just weirdly big belt now? It's stupid. It's comical. It's oversized.
That's how big it is. I have to.
It looks like
it looks like
it's like
a wrestling belt,
a Lego character or something. Yeah,
it's like a WWE.
I hate your clinky
championship belt.
Well, hey,
I'm
going to start the Bell Tolls by Metallica. In which case, 1, good song. 2, it's a literal bell at the start.
I'm going to start wearing my clinky belt around you, and I'm going to Pavlov you. Every time I'm going to jingle it and give you like a little like sour gummy.
The amount of time it'll take for you to Pavlov me into liking your belt will actually be really quickly if you give me sour gummies. So yeah,
exactly. Here's my thought. Wouldn't it be fun if you did it by hiding? So every time she couldn't find you,
she just gets so horny.
She got so turned on because every time you went to work, she'd be like, "Oh fuck, he's not in the house." Mm-hmm. And then by the time you get home,
she's going crazy. She's
feral. Yeah. Another thing, it's like, what if you like run at a distance, screaming full force? So she's getting ready upstairs in the bathroom. You're in the basement, just preparing her primal scream. Mm-hmm. And as she's brushing her teeth, all she just hears is like, ah! And then by the time she gets you, she's sopping wet.
Yeah, that's fair. Those are, honestly, how could we do better than those two?
I don't think so. Or combine them.
I think anyone who intentionally Pavlovs their partner is either super desperate or very manipulative. I could be wrong, but it just seems to me
this is consensual. They've talked about it.
Which is kind of ruining my point, but I do want to make it evil. So maybe be like, oh, you did that one chore I hate. So you Pavlov them to be like, what's the thing you fucking hate? Like, do you not like doing the, like, hoovering the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay, now she's going to get road rotten the second she does that. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now you've done what everyone else does. You made it evil, so she's not missing out.
Yeah, the second she pulls out that vacuum, you start jingling your belt.
Blowjob.
Blowjob.
Well, I guess it's
is that your new favorite anime?
So yeah, it is. Blowjob X blowjob. I guess it would be suck job, blowjob, suck job. Because the Hoover sucks. It doesn't blow.
Yeah.
Maybe if you hate the leaf blowing, it's blowjob.
Yes.
Oh.
Or you have a really bad vacuum that just sprays dirt everywhere.
Because the thing is, like, we play, D&D and stuff like that. It's not actually D&D. You know what I mean? And it's like you always want to be unique and do a twist on it, right? You don't want to be the same rogue that's the other rogue, right? So I want to be really unique with your Pavloving. How about you just pick a day a year? April 8th. And you know that you're just going to get fucking ravaged on April 8th. And then next year, like nothing happens. Or like, you know, it's just
think that's Pavloving.
It's normal stuff, but then April 8th. It's maybe going to take a few years for her to realize, but eventually she's going to put the dots together. She's going to be like, oh my God, April 8th is the magic day. And then she's going to be coming up to it, you know?
But I think the problem with that is I think Pavlov needs to be a more immediate response. Whereas I think if you're
what could be more immediate than it being April 8th?
the other 364 days of waiting in dread of being like, oh no.
That's like saying every breath you take that isn't coconut butter is, you know, that's just the other days, baby. It's just the other days.
I would, before you start trying to Pavlov your partner, I would maybe look into the detriments of Pavloving someone, because again, I
feel like we're both taking Pavloving way too seriously, and there's nothing past it just being like an association, but maybe the dark world of Pavloving.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to type that into Google right now.
The dark world of Pavloving?
Dark world of Pavloving.
You're going to find a Reddit search for sure of some seduction person being like, I've been Pavloving this girl in my class.
Oh, the very first thing. Pavlov's dog experiment was more disturbing than you think.
See? That's what I'm saying. I'm worried that there's like the dog, like, again, like doesn't eat until it hears the bell. And then, you know, the guy was just like, yeah, I'm done with this experiment, dog. I don't care if you're hungry.
Okay, well, I'm not going to, I can stop reading this. It's real bad. It's nothing about, or we haven't gotten to the actual psychological effects. It's more of just the things Pavlov did to these creatures. And it's not good. So don't Pavlov your wife, because apparently Pavloving involves putting a lot of holes in them in places there shouldn't be holes. So, yeah.
I mean, maybe that's it, right? It's like, oh, there's a new hole to be fucked. Guess I'm getting horny.
Yeah, every time you put a new hole in them. No, we can't. You ready?
Yeah.
This is by... Oh, they don't have a name. I just record... Oh, I, 20-year-old male, record my conversations to improve my social skills. And I just made myself look like a total creep to my only friend, 19-year-old female. I have no idea how to talk to people. Like, genuinely, I'm so bad at socializing, I've started using an app called Reclip to save my conversation so I can go back later and analyze what I did wrong. I know it sounds weird, but it's the only way I can figure out how to improve. I don't do it secretly or anything. I just keep my phone on me, hit record when I'm talking to people, and listen back later like some kind of socially inept detective trying to solve the mystery of why am I like this? Now, Dane, does that sound to you like not a secret?
Not a secret?
Yeah, he's like, I don't do it secretly. I just turn it on and put it on the table.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like to not have it not be a secret, you would have to be like, hey, I'm recording this conversation.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Which we'll get to later. Anyway, habit of mine backfired, and now I think my only friend Sarah thinks I'm a total creep. We're hanging out at her place watching a random show, and things were going fine for once. I actually felt like I was being normal. But then at one point, she got up to grab something from the kitchen, and as she walked past me, muttered something under her breath. I didn't catch it. She kind of laughed right after, so I assumed it was a joke. And this is where I ruined everything. Instead of asking her to repeat it like a regular person, my brain short-circuited, and I just said,
"No,
I'll just check the recording later." She stopped mid-step, turned around, and said, "What recording?" Oh, no. At this point, I realized I had zero good ways to explain it without sounding like a psycho. So I tried to backtrack, but instead of saying something normal, I doubled down in the worst possible way. I just record our conversations for self-improvement reasons. Her eyes went wide. You record me? Me. Not just you. I record everyone I talk to, as if that made it better. Silence was deafening. I could hear my own heartbeat trying to eject itself from my chest out of sheer embarrassment. Then she shook her head, let out a nervous laugh, and said, "That's really weird, dude." And kind of like that, the vibe was obliterated. She barely talked for the rest of the night. And when I left, she gave me the kind of awkward wave you'd give to someone you don't plan on seeing again anytime soon. Now I have no idea what to do. Do I text her and explain? Apologize? Act like nothing happened? I swear I wasn't being creepy. I'm just so bad at talking to people, I've resorted to reviewing my interactions like game footage. But now I'm worried she thinks I'm some kind of obsessive weirdo. How do I fix this? Am I permanently the recording guy in her mind now?
Yeah. You obviously fumbled. All you had to do is be like, oh, I'm actually a robot.
Yeah.
And my brain stores, so it's like when I get home and decompress and defrag the old hard drive, I'll just replay it back. Like that's it. Like I'm sorry I didn't tell you I was a robot, but you know, the government wants me.
The thing is, I didn't used to be a robot either. The COVID vaccine turned me into one.
If only Robert F. Kennedy Jr. could have saved me.
Yeah. Damn you, Fauci!
Fucking Fauci got us again.
Or just be like, oh, it's a kink thing. I masturbate to the recordings, and then she can't kink shame you.
Oh, that's true. You don't want to be a bad friend in kink shame.
Exactly. She's about to be like, that's actually worse. And you're like, wait. You pull out the legal, breakdown of Nebraska, and it says it right there. Op 7A, cannot kink shame.
It's the one executive order that Trump signed that we didn't pay attention to was
weirdly sex positive. He was like,
is
no more
illegal
kink
to
shame.
kink shave.
If he did that, it wouldn't even be for good reasons.
No, 100%. No, it's just be like, oh yeah, no, you could definitely choke out anyone you want. It's got too real, too fast.
I know I shouldn't have brought up Fauci.
This is, you open the door with your anti-vax joke. You can salvage this, I think, by reaching out and being like, I am sorry. I acknowledge that it is weird that I do this, and do it through text so that you have full control over, your ability to do it, and just be like,
you don't need to record text because they're already on your thing. So you're good.
Exactly. And just be honest and be like, I have a really hard time with social interactions, and I kind of spiraled, and this was the one thing that seemed to make sense, and that did help. And I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I understand that it was a breach of trust. I understand that it was an invasion of privacy, and I'm really, really sorry. Like, you know what I mean? I think taking ownership and admitting and understanding why someone would be upset about this is the only action you can take. And it doesn't mean she has to forgive you.
No. And I do think you need to fully be like, I fucked up, and like, I should have told you. Like,
yes.
Not even like I could have, like I should have. Like, I realized that that's really fucked up. That's on me. And you're right. It was fucking weird, and it sucks to have to find out that way. But I recognize that now, and I'm sorry. And then go join a fucking improv class. Yep.
I mean, that's always going to be our answer for that kind of stuff. But yeah, in order to attempt to salvage this, there needs to be a genuine apology and no excuses. And I also think a real reason.
Explain yourself and like be genuine and honest. And also like, the truth's a little embarrassing. That's what's going to make it palatable. Yeah. Like if you're just like, oh, I just do it, like whatever. No, like fuck you. If you're like, hey, I'm really awkward, and this was like my weird attempt to try to like, that's at least like, I don't want to say charming, because it's not like you're not using it to like charm, but I mean the truth, like the embarrassment of it and like the honesty that you're giving will go a long way towards making what you do like acceptable. Yeah.
And being like, I feel comfortable with you, and I want to like, the way that we hang out would be nice to me if I could replicate that with other people, and like, be honest about why you're doing it, and don't try to make them feel bad. Like, it's not a pity party, right? You did something weird, and you did something that hurt someone. It's not your turn now to try to like weaponize the way that they're upset in order to get them to forgive you.
For sure. And I also think
you have to accept if they don't want to, because what you did was a breach of trust, and people don't need to accept your apology or move forward with your relationship. Like, that's just a fact of life.
Could be a crime depending on where you're at. Not everywhere has one party consent. Yeah. So I think, one, you got to stop as well, because I don't think you can go into every conversation you have being like, hey, I'm going to record this if that's okay. But that's the only way you can do this, like morally, normally. But like, you're not going to do that because that's weird, right? So you can't do it
now,
because it's not.
You could get a job as an investigative reporter. Have one
get
of
your
those
private investigator's license,
little clicky tape thing, and be like, do you mind if this is on the record? Because when you say is it on the record, that sounds fucking professional. Cool. That's cool as shit.
All of a sudden, that's sick.
And then there's a reason why in your room you have a giant corkboard with pictures of people and little like notes on them and the string. You know what I mean? Like newspaper clips that have nothing to do with anything else.
Your same friend, when she looks out her window at night and you're on the street with a telephoto lens taking pictures of her, she's gonna be like, hey, instead of being like, whoa, what the fuck?
Oh, what's
just going to make sense.
She's going to be like, oh, you're on a stakeout. I get it.
Yeah. Oh, you're staking me out like a private investigator
does. You're staking me out.
No worries. That's the only way to do it, honestly. Oh, do you mind if we, on the record?
Yeah. Can we do this on the record?
And the thing is, if someone ever gets weirded out by that and they go like, wait, what the fuck? I think the sheer coolness of you putting it away and being like, off the record then, I'm going to feel so like, oh shit, we're dangerous right now. Instead of thinking, what the hell just happened to this guy try to record me?
Or if someone's like, no, I don't want to do that. You say, huh, interesting. And then you take a notepad out and make a note, right? Now,
victim does not want to be victim. Why did you call me a victim?
Yeah. And I think what you should also do is get a second tape recorder. But on this one is actually like a sort of like noir jazz that you play while you're. So this one is a playback. The other one's a recording.
It's a tape player instead of a tape recorder. It's this new groundbreaking technology Dane's come up with.
Yeah. And you just hit play, and then all of a sudden there's like a sort of 1940s jazz. Hey, if you have trouble talking with people, perhaps you can change everything into narration. Yeah. Exactly.
He sat down across from this woman. They're watching reality TV. He looked at her and he thought, dear God, I'm going to fuck this up.
Just constantly make really fucking wild metaphors.
Mm-hmm. Her legs went from the top of her to the bottom of her like the Highway 82.
He felt like the bottom of a birdcage newspaper. Newspaper at the bottom of a birdcage. You got to really figure it out.
Well, that's more like what he'd do because he's bad at talking. So you can't record people, dude. What are you doing? This person thinks you're weird and you got to fucking literally be as like, hey, I'm super sorry as you can be. Because you did a weird fucking bad thing and you can't keep doing it. And there are better ways to fix this problem. Also, how long you been doing it for? Because either it's not working.
How long do you keep these recordings?
Yeah. Do you jerk it when you listen to them?
Do you jerk it? Hey, dude. Hey, dude.
Look.
You legally have to tell us if you jerk it to these recordings.
It's a safe space. You can tell us.
If you jerk it to these recordings, you're done.
You're done.
We're firing you.
You're out of this city. You're
Pavloving yourself with conversations because you're probably rock hard when you're talking to her.
That's why you can't talk because that's all you're thinking about is how much you're going to jerk to this exact conversation.
Fucking bricked up. It's my turn, right?
It is your turn. Unless you want me to just swoop by you.
You know what? I'm almost now that I'm in as my innie. I do recall doing a very similar plushie question. So I'm going to skip to a real sad one. Really bum us out.
Or I could do a really fun one and we don't get sad at the end of the episode.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Why do you seem sad about being happy?
I'm sad that I can't be sad.
You can, hey, ruin my day. Go for it.
I don't want to be happy. I want to be sad.
Okay, go on.
Sunshine, sunshine. There was a milk propaganda cartoon a very long time ago, and it was like these it was like a black and white like thing, and the workers were like, I don't want to be happy. I want to be sad. And then Milk shows up. I'm pretty sure it was Milk. And the milkman is like bringing color to the world. There's a whole fucking battle. It's crazy.
That's because Milk is amazing. There was a Milk, like a pro Milk ad back in Ireland. And one of the like rugby player guys was like the face behind it. But like, I think the whole thing was like, I stand behind Irish farmers, but he was like, I'm behind Irish farmers. And he was really big. And like, you'd see someone like milking a cow and he was just kind of like looming over him. I don't think it was meant to be threatening, but it did have like, I'm behind you energy.
Yeah. Big, I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah. Like he's fucking systematically one by one
hunting down
milk farmers. And only one PI can stop it, but he's too busy jerking it off to all the conversations.
This is, I
milking
remember
himself,
Aurora.
one might say.
Yeah.
That's the twist in the third act. He's behind the PI because the PI's been milking it too much.
Forget it, Niall. It's milking town. Am I dishonoring my husband so soon after he died? I lost my husband suddenly 3 weeks ago today. Shattered me. The last few days, my sex drive came back. I loved my husband, and I would never have cheated, but our sex life was not satisfying. He's also the only man I've ever been with. I'm now looking and talking to a few of my friends for a hookup. I want to know what I've been missing, but that may be disrespectful to my husband so soon after he's gone. But I'm upfront with these people that is only physical. Am I being disrespectful to my husband?
What is disrespectful to your husband? He dead.
True.
You know what I mean? Like he's dead. So the only person who gets to make that call is like you, right? Like it's more about how you feel. And like how his family feels, I guess. Like if they were to see you dating someone so soon, I think that, you know what I mean? Like if you go to a bar in a small town where his family also go and they see you with another man, that might cause different problems for you. I assume that's not an issue you're having, but it is something to keep in mind, because other than that, it's just between you and your husband. And it's like, I can't be the one to tell you if you're going to do this and lie awake at night feeling like trash, but I also can tell you that there is no metric to judge that by.
That's the thing. I think you need to keep in mind you just went through a really horrible thing. And trauma is not something that operates rationally. No. So in your brain now, one of the things that might be helping you get through the trauma is being like, well, sure, all this bad stuff has happened, but here's the silver lining is that, you know, you weren't sexually satisfied and now you can go explore that. And that might be covering up the sort of like layers and layers and layers and layers of sadness that you have, which might be something worth exploring, but you need to understand that like there's a very good chance that this has come crashing down on you where you have sex with someone once and you're like, oh, that doesn't fix anything. And I'm still very, very sad.
This also could be like a trauma response where you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're doing something self-destructive. You don't like, I don't know. I would say to be certain of like why you're doing it. Are you doing it for the right reasons? Are you moving too quickly, etc. But also on top of that, it's like, I don't know, if I died, I would want my partner to be happy and have fun. Does that mean having sex within a month? Yeah, go for it. Like, I'm dead. I don't fucking care. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to have the best sex.
I get to see you get railed from heaven.
Yeah, I'm a ghost. Right? Now I get to jerk off to that.
This is
across the veil.
Yeah.
You're going to hear, instead of woo, it's going to be like, woo.
Woo.
But for real, like, I would want my partner to be happy. And I think your husband also probably does. But you probably need to look very closely at like why you're doing this, how you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's like the depth of grief that me and Dane aren't qualified to bring you through in the next 7 minutes before the episode ends.
I think that also you bring up a good point of being like, it might be useful to speak to a therapist or a mental health professional about this and be like, here's where I'm at. This is what I'm feeling, you know, and just sort of like talk it through, because through a simple conversation of someone who knows what they're doing and is a professional in that field might be able to walk you through some like steps of being like, you're feeling this way because of this way, because of this way. Do you still feel that way now that we've gone through this journey? Right. Because it might come to the end of it, be like, oh yeah, no, I'm literally just trying to fill a hole by getting a hole filled.
Well, it's like what? Anger, denial, bargaining, grief, or like sadness, acceptance, and horny. So like maybe you just went straight to 6.
I would say that the horny is probably before acceptance.
In this case, probably. Unless she just speed ran grief. She was like, I'm good.
In the like educational documentary Wedding Crashers, there is a point where they explore the concept of using sadness as an aphrodisiac. So, you know, there is scientific precedent for it by the Dr. Chaz Reinhold.
Exactly. So it's a question we can't answer because there isn't like respect isn't usually like disrespecting someone isn't just like an action. It's not a very specific thing. Every situation has a different, you know, some people feel disrespected if you hug another person in their relationship. Other people are like, let's invite that person into our bed and the 3 of us have sex. It all depends on the person. It's going to depend on you. But I do think you really need to explore where you're at in the grieving process. But like, I assume your partner would want you to be happy. So keep that in mind. And you're also
like, it's the time frame, right? Like, and I think a lot of people struggle with this, even after like a breakup.
Yeah.
Of being like, is it too soon for me to like booty call someone, even though I broke up with my partner like a day ago, a week ago, however long? Like, how long should I wallow in misery before I allow myself to feel pleasure or happiness?
And a lot of that is external factors more so than internal, right? It's like, oh, is it bad? Like, will I look like an asshole if I'm, you know? And I find some people are really good at gauging when to hop back on the horse, as it were. And some people are really bad. Some people do it too quickly because they feel like they should. I'm sure a lot of people put it off because they feel pressure not to.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you when that is because each person has a different time in that scenario. And this is a far more intense scenario.
Yes. Yeah. So don't look for concrete answers from someone, because as Niall said, you are the only person who can be the person that says it's okay. The only way, I will say this from my point of view, the only way I can see you disrespecting your husband is if you go and do this and then proceed to be like, oh, your dick is so much better than my husband. And then like tell your friends that he was bad in bed and, you know, you're now getting railed. You know what I mean? Like,
can you imagine being this really supportive husband ghost and you're like, yes, get in there. She's getting laid. And then the first thing she does is start bad mouthing your dick. And you're like, your woo turns into woo.
Oh. So
yeah, don't do that.
That's how that's how you would dishonor someone, I think, is if you sort of like badmouth them. Other than that, I don't think, you know, if you feel like having happiness and pleasure would be a disservice to your husband, I think you are maybe not ready to pursue those things, because I think you need to accept the idea that like you're allowed to feel these things. Maybe
your husband doesn't want that for you, in which case
he's an asshole.
Exactly. You can't disrespect
fun of his shitty dick all you want.
Yeah. Well, don't do that anyway. I feel like that's going to be bad for everyone. Also, maybe especially like your husband ghost, but also the guy you're sleeping with is going to feel really uncomfortable.
If you keep talking about your dead husband's penis. Yeah. Especially if you say it like that. My dead husband never fucked me like this.
Have you seen the movie Find Love, I think? Or Love Again? Love Again. It's a new rom-com that's on Netflix. It is so bad. It's so bad. But it's about like this woman she literally like in the first minute or two of the movie watches her husband get killed by a car, like from the coffee shop she's sitting in. And then like the entire rest of the movie, everyone's like, ugh, get over it. It's like it's not even that he died, which would be bad enough. She watches it happen.
Yeah, she sees it.
Yeah, she sees this man get crushed by a drunk driver in the middle of the day. And like the whole thing is just everyone being like, ugh, her with this grieving bullshit again. But then
I feel it's like that, like every movie where like the partner dies, there's always like an overwhelming chorus of like, it happened, get over it. Like, no.
I feel like it's because you can't make something in 2 hours that accurately charts a course between. Yeah. So you have to be like, I don't know, if everyone says to get over it, maybe the audience will just believe it.
Yeah, but that's our suspension of disbelief. That's our bubble.
The plot revolves around her texting like his number as like a process of therapy. So like, you know, almost like a diary, being like, hey, husband, wish you were here. This happened to me today or whatever. But some fucking asshole has his number now and like stalks her through the text and lies about it and starts dating her. And it's like portrayed as romantic. And I'm like, this is horrifying.
I was worried he was going to be texting her back as if
that would be
like a ghost.
Yeah, if he was either as a ghost or like, I thought it was going to like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I have this number. And then they'd meet up and like something would go from
that's
there.
The meet cute.
No, he stalks her, finds out who she is and like just like orchestrates meetings. And then
we're getting into our Patreon.
I know we are.
Here.
I was going to say we should have done it for Patreon, but I have an even better movie. So keep your eyes on the horizons because that'll be coming soon. Thank you everyone for sticking around, staying, listening, being awesome. We are Fuck Buddies. I feel like at the end of the episode, we don't say who we are enough.
Yeah.
We have a live show February 20th. We already mentioned it. It's at 7:00. You should come. It's cheap. It's great. It's fun. We always have a great crowd. Everyone's so fucking lovely. It's just gonna be a blast. So please come. You'll find tickets, links anywhere on any of our social medias, on our website, fbuddiespodcast.com. Bring a friend. Tell a friend if you can't make it. You know the drill.
It's a great date night. You might not think like, oh, going to a sex and dating advice thing is a weird thing to do with a partner. We've had people bring first dates and have a really great time. We've had people bring like their husbands and wives.
Yep.
Like it's a very fun thing to do with someone that you are seeing and dating because it's fun. It's different. It's kind of like going to see a comedy show where you're also kind of like joking around with us as well. Like
there's like an element of interactivity, but on top of that, it's like, why I think it's a really good date night is, and a lot of people have done this and said that it is, so it's not just me making it up, but like one, if you have views that are sex positive and similar to ours, it's a very good like yardstick to like test to see if your partner shares them. Because if people are making jokes and we're like supporting women and like etc., and they're like rolling their eyes, right? But 2, you're sitting down, you're getting a little tipsy, you're having fun, and all everyone's talking about is sex. So guess what? We're Pavlov and you already.
And we do an audience question thing, right? So you could like even send in a question.
You'd be like, hey, I brought my
you could
hot
wingman
first
yourself.
date. I brought my hot first date today. I want to go home and rock his fucking world.
Yeah.
What should I do? And then when I'm reading out that question, guess what? You look him dead in the eye and you wink.
And then we'll catch it and we'll look them dead in the eye and wink at them as well.
And then we'll wink. That's 3 eyes, 1 boy.
That's so many winks.
Yeah. So
anyway,
we'll see you
come to
there.
our show.
We love you. Thank you, Josh Eagle and Harvard Cities for their song Paper Stars. Ready for some bad sex, Ryan Dane?
Yeah.
This is going to be a bunch of excerpts from the one book called Of Course I Love You Till I Find Someone Better by Durjoy Datta and Manvi Ahuja. I probably said those names wrong. I'm sorry. So I'm going to read all 3 and then we'll talk. But one of them, we'll talk about that even more than the other 2. She wasn't even sexy anymore. Those glistening marble white legs now seemed to have stretch marks marring them, and her petite breasts seemed to have retreated into her body. I noticed all that. That's the first one.
Cool.
I heard it's fine, too. Lots of girls. I bet you will like it, she said, and nudged me. Sure, I could have leered at wiggly tits in a club, but an option like that is more alluring when you're no longer trying to get inside your girl's shirt. That's number 2.
Yeah. What's with the wiggly tits?
Exactly. That's the one we're going to talk about. And then the fact that Smitri looked smoking hot in her floral spaghetti and the short pleated skirt that ended inches below her butt wasn't doing me any good either. The very purpose of the skirt's existence, easy accessibility and eventual get rid ability, was being defeated that night. Now, if only she would get tipsy, start seeing things in double, and eventually be oblivious to my rendering her clothes useless, I might be a jerk, but many guys would agree with me on this. Nudity suits girls.
I don't know. I don't think that the jerk thing might be the fact that you want her to get blackout drunk before you do it. Yeah. Now, I assume you're going to bring up the game that we played in which you used. Was yours the one that said wiggly tits?
Mine was the one that said wiggly tits, right?
Yeah.
And I just love that because I really thought that, I thought I went too far. I thought I was being dumb. And it's like, you know what? I accurately was exactly as dumb as I wanted to be, and these people put it in a real book.
The thing is, like, when I hear wiggly, I think side to side, right? When I think jiggly, I think up and down. Does that make sense?
That's fair. Yeah.
Right. So, like,
wiggly's just also, like, when you think wiggly, you think, like, a worm, like an angry snake.
Yeah,
or think like
a dog wagging its tail.
Escape your grasp.
Yes. Wiggle implies I think a goal. Wiggle is intentional.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm choosing to wiggle. Whereas
also, like,
if I was jiggling is a little bit more passive.
Is it wiggle, wiggle, wiggle? That's the song though, and that is sexy. Never mind.
But that's wiggling your body.
Wiggle. But what is the boobs but the body of the chest?
Well, I don't think I think they're talking about their ass.
Yeah.
Right? Again, I don't think wiggling tits I don't think it's anything. But hey, you know what? I'm willing to be proven wrong.
But the worst part is this is by a man and a woman.
Well, we can tell which parts were written by who.
I hope so.
My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm Niall Spain.
We've been your fuck buddies.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.